Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Stacy Cook, and tonight we are talking about bringing essential oils into your wellness practice. I've been using essential oils and sharing about them for a little bit over 5 years. And during that time, I have definitely had an appreciation grow for a lot of different health and wellness styles and techniques. And some of those things include chiropractic care, massage therapy, all those sorts of things. So I absolutely love it when I see these different health and wellness modalities come together. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about how you could do that in your own wellness practice. We're going to hear from some professionals who have incorporated Young Living oils and different products into their offices and how they've done that, why they did it, what it's meant for their clients, what it's meant for their businesses, and just hear a little bit more about that from them. I am joined tonight by Sherry Placco, who is a dear friend. She's a Young Living leader. She is a rock star third grade teacher, and she's going to help us facilitate this conversation. And we are also going to hear from Dr. Angie Resendez. Dr. Angie is a pediatric and prenatal chiropractor. She's a mom. She's a business owner. She's my son's chiropractor. She's awesome. We've had really great results going to her for the last year. So I love that they're now using oils and Young Living cleaners and products in their office. So we're going to hear all about that. And we're going to hear from Mary Slight. Mary is a certified massage therapist of over 25 years. She's a massage instructor. I really got to know Mary for the first time when we got to go to a Young Living farm together on a leadership retreat, which was awesome. She is a wealth of knowledge, so we're going to hear a lot from Mary too. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let's start with Dr. Angie. Dr. Angie, if you can unmute yourself and just let us know a little bit about you and your practice.
Yeah, so I'm, sorry, can you hear me? Okay, I'm Dr. Angie. My practice is in Arlington Heights. And then twice a week I see patients in Tilton, so the south side of Chicago. And I have been using essential oils in our practice for about, I think, a year and a half, a little over a year. I think it's been great. It's been great for my own health, the health of my kids, as well as our practice members that have loved it. And then as we go through the different questions, I can answer things specifically that you're looking for.
Hello? So can you tell us, Dr. Angie, a little bit about, what really inspired you to bring oils into your office, in addition to using them for yourself?
So I was hesitant about using oils for quite some time. Is my connection okay, Stacy? Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, let me move downstairs. Give me 5 minutes.
All right. While Dr. Angie relocates herself, Sherry is going to throw into the chat for us just a link to Young Living's income disclosure statement, just because we're chatting a bit about the business. And for those of you watching the replay, you can look for that in the description of this video. And while Dr. Angie gets herself relocated, I also want to introduce Megan Workentine. Megan is Dr. Angie's patient coordinator, and she is a real key part of the team they've got going in terms of how they haven't brought Young Living into their chiropractic practice. So I know Dr. Angie's going to talk a little bit more about that too. And she's back.
Okay, sorry about that, a little technical difficulties.
No worries.
I've been curious about essential oils for a while, but I never committed to it because I felt it was going to be confusing to my patients. So that was my biggest hesitation in starting the oils. But the more we got into more complicated cases, heavier cases, people just wanted an additional thing that they can do to help support their journey that they were on, or to get results faster. And so I decided to start using oils little by little, still hesitant, but added them. And we are now recommending them almost to everyone, from oils to removing toxins in their household. Mainly because in the office, we talk about physical stress, which is falling, slips, falls, being born, emotional stress, which is all the emotional things that we think of when we say stress. And then the last one being chemical stress. And ultimately, if they don't remove the chemical stressors or start to change their lifestyle in that way, they're not going to get as quick of a result and as long lasting of a result. And so for me, it's an easy recommendation because they already have all the products there. You know they're good, you know they're clean, and it's an easy way. All of our parents are super busy. They're all have activities and lots of things going on. They don't have the time to maybe make their own deodorant or make their own lotion and all those things. Young Living is just an easy recommendation that they can easily, quickly implement into their life. That's going to give them huge benefits. Was that your question? Sorry. Pregnancy brain is real.
Yeah, I think that was my question. Perfect. Well, and I think, it makes so much sense. So you're, talking about how by incorporating these products into their life, you're basically accelerating their treatment plan and you're helping them get to where you want them to be faster and ultimately for a more long-term result, right? Because when they remove those toxins, that's, like lifelong health when you take those out.
Because it not only will accelerate their care plan, but they start to make different lifestyle choices. I feel like the biggest thing for people is to make it to a lifestyle choice. But when it's easy to implement these lifestyle choices, they stay with them for a long time. And ultimately, when these kiddos are teenagers, when these kiddos are adults, they have a new way of being and a new lifestyle where then their kids will do different because they've seen different from the way their parents have done, the grandparents have done it, and also different lifestyles are really changing generation of that by starting now.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're breaking up just a little bit. I don't know if there's really anything you can do about that. We'll see how it goes. So what do you find is the thing that you kind of recommend the most, and how do you bring that up with your patients?
I would say what I recommend the most is the starter kit, because most people have heard about essential oils by now. They've maybe seen them at Whole Foods. They've seen them somewhere, heard about them somewhere, but aren't sure where to start. And so I typically just say start with the starter kit. It has an array of oils. You get a few samples of cleaning products. And then starting there. So depending on what their scans show in my office, if it's a very stressed out kiddo, I'll recommend more grounding, calming. If it's a kiddo who's having sleep issues, I'll recommend, again, things that are calming and when to put them on. Sometimes we'll show them how to make rollers. We'll make rollers for them in the office because we want them to start implementing them and using them right away. I would say that's where we start for them in accelerating the healing process. At the re-exam follow-ups or follow-up visits, that's when we start to talk about products that they're using and products in the household. Because they've already, for me, if I throw everything at once, they're less likely to do it. But if I break it up into different sessions, as things are changing in their care, as the results are changing, then we start to add and implement different things and talk about different things. Because some people have never thought about how their Lysol and all of their cleaning products that they use may be toxic to their skin and their body. They just thought, well, it's sold at the store, so it must be okay.
That's so true. That's so true. Education is such a big part of it. And I think that's so smart that you don't throw it all at them at once and, kind of like ease people into it with the kit and then talking about cleaning products or personal care products or that type of thing. Because I know that just from my own experience, like an overwhelmed new member is someone who's not going to use their products at all because they're like, don't know what to do. And I also love that you guys help them make some rollers and give them some options that way, because that's just such a easy, quick way for busy moms and everyone else to use their oils.
For
And
sure.
I
And
think,
then incorporating with Megan, we let them know that we open up those channels of communication and let them know to send us a text message. I feel Megan is the most knowledgeable in essential oils in her office, so I'll let them know that I'm very familiar with the starter kit and a few other ones, but there's a lot of oils, and to ask Megan to reach out, that we have a team of people that if we don't have an answer to their question, we know other people that would have an answer. So to always reach out and just keeping that communication open.
Yeah, so tell me more about that. Tell me how Megan helps support, your clients who are now using oils and that whole kind of process.
Yeah, so we'll check in with them. Sometimes if it's a patient who's not ready to commit to oil, or starting a starter kit or starting on the journey to cleaning up the products in their life, we'll make them rollers. And so if it's a digestive, a calming, ADHD, sensory, whatever the kiddo is, we'll make a roller specific to them so they start to use it, recognize it. So Megan will make it, put a label on it. If it's a stressed out anxiety kiddo, she'll call it her brave roller. So we strategically name our rollers to empower them to use them, to have it available as a tool. And usually Megan will deliver the information, when you can use it, how you can use it, and keep that communication available to them if they have any additional questions.
That's awesome. And I know that I'd love to hear a little bit, because I know that as a chiropractor, running your own business, you're busy. You probably don't have a lot of extra time to invest in, now I have this young living business. So how does Megan help support you in that? I feel like she does kind of some of the nuts and bolts for you a little bit.
I would say Megan does everything. But essentially, so she helps making sure, like, our back end, that the education is there, that they feel empowered, that they're going to use the kit. Because if they're going to get those long lasting, faster, quicker results, we want them to use the oils that are in them and available to them. So essentially, Megan follows up with them if they have any issues or problems or need help ordering. Megan has sat down with a mom to order oils for her family, just to allow her to feel familiar with the entire process. So I know sometimes that's a hesitation for other business owners. Like, I'm already tapped out on time. Like, I don't want to take time away from my family. But that's what having a powerful team or a team in your office is important, because they can help support the business. They can help support your young living business. And then together they both marry each other because they're in the same realm of holistic wellness and improving health.
and I just want to chime in on some of the things that I feel like is beneficial with how our office is set up. It's all open adjusting. So my desk is in the realm of being in earshot of what they're talking about a lot of the time, at least when they're getting adjusted or talking about, how they're feeling from day to day. So being able to tune in and say, hey, after they've left, or what do you think? Let's make them a sleeping roller, or have you ever tried essential oils? Because Dr. Angie is super busy. She's, a lot of the times, it's easy for me to forget, but she's thinking a lot of the time and talking and trying to have a conversation of what she's trying to do as far as adjustments are concerned. So a lot of the times I'm trying to, quote unquote, eavesdrop, I guess, to hear about some of the things that they're talking about. That way we can make those rollers, or sometimes they don't even ask. I just go and do it, because it takes that weird, do you want one, do you not want one kind of a thing. It just makes them feel like, oh, you're thinking of me in a different way, another way to support me that I didn't even have to ask. And they're just like the little 5 ml ones, and that seems to be something that they can take and they can hold on to. And a lot of the times with the kiddos, smell is such a powerful thing to our sensory kids. So finding something that they like, it sometimes I call it a placebo. It's not a placebo, but if they like it, they'll use it. And sometimes if you just make them think that it's a special, it makes them sleep, it helps them calm. And then they know that that's something that they can use, something that is in their control. And that's something that I think is powerful, because it's taking it out of the parents' hands and it's putting it in the kids' hands. So just to add.
I love that. That's so true. And I think that it's so, exactly what you're saying. It's really powerful when you just give someone something, they didn't have to ask for it, and you're just saying, this is part of what we think is going to help you get to where we want you to be.
Hmm.
Try it, tell us how it feels, you know?
Yeah.
I think
And
that's,
the other thing of being able to, if I'm taking lead on more of the Young Living stuff, it's something that I can follow up with and say, hey, have you used it? Do you like it? If you didn't see results, let's try something different. Or, just having that conversation so Dr. Angie doesn't have to have that. And it helps with that confused message sometimes. If they want to, they're here for chiropractic and that's number one, then this is just kind of, Dr. Angie says, we're a piece of the puzzle. This is just another piece of the puzzle to help support what we're doing every day. So that's something that we talk about a lot. And if there have been times where like, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't do this, or let's do it this way because we don't want to confuse. We don't want to create more chaos in an already chaotic world. So we're learning all the time as to what we're using and how we're using it. So.
I love that. I love that you keep like simplicity top of mind.
Yeah.
It's so important. And I have to say, just from a patient perspective, coming into an office that is focused on wellness and seeing natural products in things like your bathroom, that means so much to me. Because when I go into a doctor's office, and if you have Glade plugins and Glade aerosols in the bathroom, I'm totally grossed out. And I feel like, you're giving me two different messages, right? So I love that, you've got it throughout the office, you're cleaning with thieves. It's a really consistent wellness, vibe. And I so appreciate that.
Well, and a lot of times people are saying, it smells so good in here. And that just, it allows us to have that conversation. Even a lot of the times it's the first time they walk in, it's new patients that come in and it's, oh, it smells really good in here. And I just take the opportunity to let them know that that's what we're diffusing. And then it ends up coming up. It's not a push. It's just, this is what we're using in here. This is why we're using it. And then as they continue with care, it just becomes, like Dr. Angie said, it's not something that we pile on all at once. It just is a part of the conversation. Like it's a normal piece of everyday life type of a thing. So
That's awesome. So if between Dr. Angie and Megan, both of you, if you had one piece of advice to give to a chiropractor who is thinking about incorporating oils or Young Living products into their practice, what would your top piece of advice be?
I would probably say, I think, well, for me, it's always mindset, like getting over my mindset. I think it's going to be so much harder and be so much more time consuming when you're thinking about it, but just try it. And if at the end of the day it doesn't work or it doesn't flow well, then you can just stop. And so, but I think that you'll realize that patients love it. Patients are looking for wellness right now. They're looking for other things they can do. They are starting to realize that they're done being reactive with their health and they want to be proactive and implementing different things and starting to clean up products. Because even if you walk into Target, there's detergents that have essential oils in them. So the people are looking for the products. And if you have a line that you like, that you recommend, that you use, the patients trust you and they're going to get it. And on top of that, it makes your life easier as a doctor to get better results quicker. And I think patients and doctors love that. So
That's awesome. Thank you. Megan, do you have anything to add?
I think for me, it's don't be afraid to use your resources. And Stacy, you're a huge part of what makes it easy for us or the community that you've built, because I'm constantly, part of my thing is I feel passionate about oils. I've really liked them and I've used really kind of the crappy ones before and now have switched. And it's learning and just constantly learning. So take it a piece at a time, start with the starter kit. And then as you get more comfortable, branch out. And I feel like that's what we tell our patients. And that's exactly what we're doing at the same time. So I guess don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid that it's, you're not alone in this journey kind of a thing. So yeah, use your resources, I think.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you sharing that experience. I have loved watching you incorporate oils into your office. It's incredible. And I am going to pass it over now to Sherry, who's going to take it from here.
Thanks, Stacy. And Dr. Angie and Megan, thank you so much. I love hearing how you said just one step at a time. I think that's important for all of us to remember. Like, nobody has all the answers, but in this oily community that we have built, we can all find the answers together. I love that. And so now we're going to kind of switch gears just a little bit. So we've been talking about the chiropractic side, but now we're going to talk to my friend Mary. She is a massage therapist. So we're going to talk more about that deep body work and how she has been using oils. So Mary, are you on with us?
I am. Can you see me or hear me?
I can do both now. Thank you. I was just wondering if you could kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and your history as a massage therapist.
Yeah, so I have been a massage therapist since '94, which is somewhere around 26 years. And in the massage therapy field, that's a bit of a unicorn because it's can be hard physical work. So anyone that's doing it more than a few clients a week, I think the average, not lifespan, but life in the bodywork field is about 7 years on average. So part of it is due to good body mechanics, but I think part of it too is because of the healthy lifestyle and the essential oils that have helped me with that. So yeah, I was, in a corporate job and I left that to go to massage therapy, and then it was interesting when I started in '94, that's when Young Living started, and I was first introduced to the company and was already overwhelmed. I like to learn one thing at a time. So I was like, not yet. And then over 15 years later, and I was intimidated, and I appreciated Dr. Angie, saying, I didn't know, I was unsure. I would walk into a massage therapist office and they would have like the oils, right? And it was intimidating. And I thought, it scared me. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to hurt somebody. I'm somebody who likes to know something, and I can't sell it unless I know it. I can't recommend it unless I've liked it and used it, and I have to really understand it. So I was intimidated and overwhelmed. So it took me over 15 years to actually embrace the oils.
Well, I'm glad you're no longer overwhelmed by them. So now in your practice that you have, how did you start integrating it into your practice and, the different products that you use?
So I started when I finally jumped in, it was because I, would trade with other therapists, and I would experience the oils, and I loved how they made me feel. I remember the first time somebody used, and it was Valor that sold me. When they put it on my back, I'm like, what is that? And where do I get it? And so, when my girlfriend who said, why aren't you using these? I'm like, too much, all the excuses. And she's like, you just start with the kit. And so it reminds me two things. One, in my office, I used to have the big display of oils, and I took it out. I have a smaller, just the ones that I use, because I don't want to overwhelm people. And I also understand that, using them in the massage is, and also recommending, you can't recommend when she's like, you just start with the kit. And like Dr. Andrew said, slowly, one step at a time. And then I could do it. When it was like, do all the things, I was like, you go into that mode. So I introduced it to my clients the way I experienced it in the work. The way, and one of the things I love about it is I think they do a couple of things. One, it offers benefits to the client because we know the essential oils work and the therapeutic benefits of them, and it really helps in the client and the massage. It also helps me because I don't have to work as hard, because a lot of times the oils will help muscles release, oils will help heal things. So I'm not working as hard. It also sets me apart as a therapist because they love that experience. And I don't charge extra for the oils. You can. It's just not, everybody's different, and every therapist runs their practice different. So some people have, if I do deep tissue work versus myofascial versus stress release, I charge a different fee. I don't. It's all here. and I've always got these with me, so I just charge the same. And then I incorporate the oils into that. I do charge extra when I do raindrops, so I do that. But I feel like the oils set me apart and add it as an extra benefit. If I had a larger practice, maybe with therapists working for me and the oils were a bigger expense, then I might charge extra. But I do feel like it draws clients. And for a couple of things. One, you can use them when you diffuse and people walk in and like Megan said, like, oh, that smells great. It also, we know that that's this, you know, where the memory is, right? So they're going to remember you. They're going to remember how good it smells. They're going to remember what they felt like in their office, and they're going to remember that it calmed them. I don't do a lot of just relaxation massage, but regardless, stress is the big thing, right? Like that causes so many things. So even if I'm doing specific therapeutic work, I want them relaxed and calm. And then in the body work, as I'm working, you know, pan away from muscle soreness. We know that lavender for anything skin. So I like to use a lot of the starter kit oils, but I will throw in some other ones, deep relief. And as I'm working, I do a couple things when I use them. And sorry if I get on a roll, just rein me in. But when I'm introducing them, first of all, I don't make a big deal like, I'm going to use essential oils. Is that okay? Right? But I want their permission. As with anything else I do, I just describe what, especially for first-time clients, what the experience is going to be. I say, you know, here's how I work. I tell them, you know, what level they can undress to, how to get on the table. But then I let them know I do myofascial first work. Are you familiar with the fascia? And I'll work without cream or oil first. So, you know that I will be using cream, because I don't want them laying there like, is she ever going to put cream or oil on, right? So I like to describe the experience. And in that I say, and I also incorporate essential oils when I'm drawn to, or I pull them in, and I watch for their reaction. Sometimes they'll be like, awesome. Or sometimes they'll be like, you know, there's very few that will say, oh, I don't like anything, you know, with smell or whatever. There's very few. And sometimes we have the conversation of, well, maybe you're used to synthetic fragrance. What if you try this? Or maybe we'll incorporate it, or I can, you know, use it where I'm called to. So it's all about educating. So I let them know I'm going to use them, because I don't want to just surprise them and pour oils on them, right? I want to be mindful, as with anything in massage, you always ask permission. When in doubt, don't, never do any harm, and always ask permission. So I always ask permission, but I don't make it like, is that okay, right? As I wouldn't with anything, you know, is it okay if you get undressed? It's like, you're going to undress to this level. If you're weird about it, they're going to be weird about it, is what I say about anything that you're doing. And then throughout the massage, because I do more therapeutic work, so I'm checking in about pressure, and even in a relaxation massage, you'll still check in, maybe a little less, because they don't do a lot of talking. But because I'm doing trigger point work, or needing to like, how's that feel? What's this doing? I'm noticing this. What are you noticing? I'll also like, oh, I'm going to put a little bit of, you know, I noticed that the muscle here, or, you know, even if they've got a bruise, or what's going on here in the tissue. Oh, you know what? I'm going to add some lavender to that. That's going to help this. Or, oh, I'm going to put some cypress. That's going to help with circulation. So I'm always putting it in, but I'm not going, here's lavender for $27.95 and it's going to, right? So it's not selling, it's educating. And then they're going to, you know, be curious about it. Some don't ask about it. Some might ask about it 6 months later. What was that thing you used? Or some may say, where do I, like me, like, all right, where do I get that? That was amazing. So that's why I use it a lot, whether it's diffusing, incorporating into the massage, and then giving them some samples to take home. Not always, but if I've used something, you know, if they've got a particular sore area, maybe I'll put some oils in a like mini bag of Epsom salts. Super inexpensive and super beneficial. And I talk to them about the benefits of the magnesium, about the oil that's going in there, et cetera, or, you know, a mini roll-on. I mean, you could do a 1 mil or a 2 mil roll-on would be easy to do and send home. So depending on what they have going on, and I also bought some of those CBD muscle rub samples. So sometimes if I've used those in the massage, I'll send them home with them if I feel like that's something that they would be interested in. So that's kind of how I incorporate it. Sorry.
No, you're good. I just really love how that as you're doing the massage, you are just educating them on why you're using it. Like you said, you're not asking permission because this is just what you do. This is how you run your practice. But when you, as you're doing the body work, discover something, you're saying, oh, I'm applying cypress because this is going to be beneficial for this purpose. You're not saying, oh, is it okay? But I think that's important because education, just like Dr. Angie said, that's what everyone is craving. And so that is just part of what you're doing naturally. So as your clients are loving the massages and wanting to get the oils, how do you direct them into that? Do you have bottles that you sell there, or do you only refer them into a starter kit?
I don't, and I don't do retail for a couple reasons. The biggest reason is it's not the best deal for them. You know, you could say, oh, well, I get a $50 bonus if I sell the starter kit. Yeah, but it's also the best deal for them. So if in massage you're doing what's best for the client too, and I'll educate them. I never tell anybody, like if they want to buy one thing retail, I never say you can't, because then if you tell somebody they can't, then they want to, right? Oh, well, if I can't, well then forget it. You can. It's not what I recommend, and it's not the best deal for you, but you can. So it's like with your kids, right? You can try that. Let me know how that works out for you. But it's like, you can do that. I don't have them there retail. And if I ever do, if somebody knows I have a bottle and they're like, even if they have an account and they want to say, oh, can I just get it from you? It's easier. Well, you can, but then you're going to have to order it and replace mine. Don't pay me for it. Like, I want them to know how to order and go through the ordering process. So I don't sell retail. I saw there's a question about a professional account. I don't have a professional account. If I had a bigger practice where I had therapists working for me and I was buying a lot of oils for use in the massage practice, it might make sense. Or you're going through large amounts of cleaner, because then you can keep your taxes separate instead of trying to write them off, but you're getting them through Essential Rewards. So if you're buying bigger quantities for use in your practice and for tax reasons, maybe, but a professional account, you can't sign anybody up with it. And if you sell retail, they can buy a bottle and then go down the street and somebody will be like, hey, sign up. And they'll be like, yeah, I love this bottle I got from Mary. I'll sign up with you. Like, sometimes they don't know. So even if they buy retail, you can have them set up an account online. Even if you end up selling them the bottle there and like, okay, let's set up a retail account. You can ship that bottle to me and you take it with you. At least they've signed up. So get them to sign up. But again, I always say, you're getting 50% off, or let's look at, if you want these couple of oils and a diffuser, even if you give some of them away, you end up ahead with the 50% off. So we usually try and price that out. I don't have a display. If I had more traffic through, or if I had a waiting room, I see clients, they come in, they're on the table, they go. I have a home office. Where I worked, they're not seeing clients right now during COVID, but we had a display because she sold trigger point balls and she sold some other things. So she had a little, swallowed wrong. So she had a little display where she would have some of the oils, and we'd advertise classes and have the starter kit. At home, I've always got the diffuser going, and you can have a starter kit that you can be like, here it is, here's what I've got, so you can show it to people. So
I love that. And thanks for really taking the time to explain why personally for you think it's just best to be a distributor and to promote people to get that starter kit, because it truly is the best bang for their buck. Like, buying that one bottle is never going to be enough.
Yeah. If you're thinking about it, I would say, and talk to your sponsor and your enroller, because I didn't even know what network marketing was. When I started incorporating into them, honestly, was the best thing for my clients. And when they wanted to buy it, I was like, okay, I spent this, you can have that. I wasn't charging shipping. I was losing money. And then when people wanted a kit, I was buying them for, I'm like, here, I'll just buy you one. Give me some money. I had no idea people were supposed to set up an account. I probably bought, 10 or 15 kits for people. I didn't know. So when you do that, you might want to talk to somebody and kind of figure out how it works before you do that piece. It'd be good.
We can make the meme, don't be like Mary was.
Yes.
So can you tell me though, how has incorporating Young Living into your practice really changed your business for you?
So I feel like, a couple things I mentioned where I think it kind of sets it apart. It gives me something to talk to about clients. And then clients who do sign on, I feel like there's that extra level of interaction too, where I'm checking in with them about their oils and about how they're doing. But also just in terms of what it's done for me in terms of a side income. The essential oils became more income than the actual massage was. And it's also like right now I'm up at a little lake house. My daughter got her wisdom teeth pulled and we came up here. I can do my Young Living work from here. I can't see any massage clients. If I was dependent only on my massage income, I would have to say, I got to see clients. I can't, can't take the client. Clients aren't going to travel an hour to come up here to see me. So I can do the Young Living business from anywhere. And it also allows me that residual income. And also, I'm lucky in that I've been doing it over 25 years. I teach massage. I used to teach body mechanics. I think that was a huge piece in why I've have the longevity that I have, because it's all about, using your body and ways that, never sacrifice. I always tell my students, never sacrifice, because I teach massage at the community college and I used to teach at the Chicago school, like never sacrifice your body for theirs, right? Oh, but I could just get in here, but then you ruin your thumbs for life. So it's like never sacrifice your body for that. But, when that happens, or if something happens where you're not able to physically do the work, the Young Living business is there for you, which is amazing. And if you move, you can't take your clients. When I moved, I used to live in Oak Park. I moved, 40 miles north to Libertyville, and some clients would drive to see me till I said, you can't, like, you get back in your car and you've undone all my work, like just driving back home on the expressway. So like, I won't see you. But that's not going to happen if you move across country. You can do this from anywhere. So, if you move to Europe or, whoever will have us at this point, right? During COVID, when you can go anywhere, you can do the business. So then I feel like it's offered a whole lot of freedom and offered, that level of freedom, that level of income. And also, it adds to, in terms of what Dr. Angie was talking about, now I'm not just talking about their body work and following up for their muscles, but here's other things you can do, detoxing, here's other levels of wellness for you. So it's, kind of rounded out my practice too. So I think it's done that. And I forgot to mention, I think I told you, Sherry, like one of the things I forgot to say is self-care too. So they're really good in self-care, and any empath or body worker, anybody should be buying White Angelica. I know it's not in the starter kit, but everybody needs to have it because it's just good energetic protection. And it just, you need it. That or family reunions. I always wear it.
I love that side note about the White Angelica. I agree. I call it my negativity cloak. Like, think back to Harry Potter with the invisibility cloak. Yeah. So Mary, thank you so very much for sharing your insights on how you've been able to incorporate Young Living into your massage practice. And now I'm going to throw it back to Stacy again.
Thank you, Sherry. And thank you so much, Mary. I love hearing you talk. And I know you and I had talked before about how this, your Young Living business is something that's not trading dollars for hours for dollars, whatever. And what I didn't think about is I love that it is kind of like a bridge if you do move location. So it's like this consistent stream of income that doesn't matter where you are. If you're moving a physical practice, that's something really nice to have. So thank you so much for sharing everything with us this evening. Thank you to Dr. Angie and Megan. You guys are a wealth of knowledge too. Such great information. And thank you to everyone who joined us. I'm going to stop the recording.